Music, it can do a lot. It can speak to you, make you feel. And now I hope it can do one more thing. I hope it can help stop the violence. The Stop the Violence Face the Music Society is dedicated to ending the violence kids face every day, on the streets and in schools, even at home. It gives kids choices other than violence to solve their problems. And it educates parents to help stop abuse. If you need help or just want more information, please call the number below.
What is your message? I know you're writing from Orlando and now you're here in North Carolina. What is your message to the people out there?
We're trying to reach out to parents and children about adolescent substance abuse, teach parents how to talk to the children about drugs and what are the signs and symptoms of drug abuse. And essentially, we're here to prevent drug abuse and give some families some very basic information, very practical information about drug prevention.
But if someone willing to take off of their job and go on a bicycle tour, some kind of tour across the country just to let people know some safety tips about your children, you should be concerned. And I think it would help this community for the people that come out, and I think we learned something and we can pass it on.
What is your name? How do you feel about teen drug use? What do you do when you find drugs on somebody? Do you have any suggestions for kids that should not be using drugs and how to say no to drugs? Our communities are undergoing many changes. One of the most frightening is the spread of drug and alcohol abuse amongst our youth. And it's not just here in the inner cities, but also here in rural neighborhoods across the country. Teens today are not just smoking marijuana and drinking alcohol. They're using drugs like crack cocaine, powder cocaine, heroin, Special K, ecstasy. Some of them are even inhaling substances like butane, propane, metallic spray paint, and even whiteout. Times have changed. There's a program that's very popular. It's called Say No to Drugs. You gotta say no and walk away.
A simple no. If you stay around, if your friends are doing something that you know you don't approve of, and it's something that you really don't want to participate in, the best thing I could tell you is to say no and leave.
Because really, it'll be your low self-esteem that pulls you in. You know, if that person is leading you, then you're gonna follow. Just try not to be the follower. You know, be your own person, be a leader. And if they say, here, you want to smoke a joint? Be like, no, man, I don't do that. I'm not into that. You know, I lift weights, or I run, or I play sports, or something like that. Or I'm good at school, you know? I don't want to screw up my brain.
Surround yourself with people who generally care about you and are motivated, people who are going somewhere, have some goals and some direction, and want to see you do the same thing.
Something's wrong when somebody gives you a drug. They don't like it. You can't use the guy that, oh, that's my best buddy, he's gonna look out for me. How's he gonna look out for you when you overdose? You know, he's gonna carry you to the emergency room? Wrong. Something's fundamentally wrong with that kind of thinking. If they give you drugs, that's like punching you, beating you, or doing anything else to you.
The best thing to do is not put yourself in that situation, you know? And if you get in that situation, try to just walk away or just give a good reason that you're going to feel confident in yourself that you don't really want to do that drug. And if they going to be your friend, they're going to respect you for that, you know? And if they ain't your friend, they going to respect you. That's where you know when you got friends and you don't have friends.
After you say no and you walk away, I think it's time that you start considering your friends, because if anybody that was going to tell you to do anything to harm yourself or take you anywhere that's going to get you in trouble, obviously they're truly not your friends and they don't care about you.
Just for me, what worked for me is just to stay away from those people.
You can just say no, and I know it's difficult, but if you have your mind set on what you want to do, then it's not going to be difficult.
But if you see a joint being passed around in the room, just leave. You don't have to say no to drugs. Just leave. Just don't be there any longer. Now, if someone's trying to get you to do something, follow the 30-second rule, which is if they continue to ask you to do something, you leave. That's it. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Okay. So we covered a couple things on how to say no to drugs, and that is, number one, don't set yourself up. Number two, leave. If within 30 seconds, if they want you to do something, and if you're still sticking around.
I just got out of jail 2 weeks ago.
For what?
For drug and alcohol.
Were you selling?
Yeah.
What did you sell?
Coke.
And who would you sell it to?
Anybody. I didn't have no preferred customers. Anybody who come, I sell it to.
Were they white, Latino, African American?
Like I said, everybody. I didn't have no discriminations against no race or color. I just sell it to anybody. Did I care how old they were? No.
Did you sell it to kids?
Not to kids, but I figure, I sold it to their mother and stuff, so that's like taking their food away from their mouth. Because the streets are bad. I leave them.
Okay, description again on our suspects are 2 WMAs, one with the blue button-up work shirt with a name patch sewn on the front of it. One of them has got a white t-shirt on. The guy with the blue shirt has blonde hair. The guy with the white t-shirt has darker hair, cut fairly short.
All right. Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, you guys have a beautiful day.
Hey, can we, hey,
You gonna be around
how many,
later?
2 times? Can we use this or once?
What's that?
This.
Huh?
Is this enough for both of us?
Yeah, it's plenty. Trust me. You don't want to be too amped out because then, you know, it'll be, what do you want to do? Stay up all night or just for a couple hours?
We're
Just have a party, have a good time.
That'll be plenty.
I want to party with him. He wants to party with me and stuff. And
I got a little bud. You guys smoke bud? Are you guys all right with that?
120.
Yeah.
We'll try this.
Hey.
Right on.
are you usually in the area? In case it's good stuff. It's good stuff, man. We can come back and get more.
Yeah. Speed. All right.
Just pass by if you see me out here, all right?
All right. Okay. Thanks a lot.
You guys take care.
Okay, you got it. Okay, we're talking.
We copy. We're not to take him down.
Okay, it was the LMA wearing the white t-shirt, blue jean shorts, white socks up to his knees, and white tennis shoes.
You better stop! Stop, please! Back there in front of the car. Back there in front of the car. In front of the car, Mike! Car right there, on the side!
Spit it out. Right now. Spit it out. All of it.
All right,
Right now.
all right, look, kid, I'm sorry, man. I've been through so much. Look, all right, look. All right.
Stop. You're under arrest.
All right.
You're under
What
arrest.
the is all for, man? What do you think? You're selling dope. When's this gonna end, man? Hey, you dropped something. Yeah, I saw him throw it too. Yeah, we got it. The big bag of dope.
Worked really great with having the bikes out there to come up on these people. You know, they did a great job of moving in fast, targeting the people, grabbing them, getting the dope before they could swallow it. It was also really nice that we didn't have to burn the officers, the UC officers, but having them come back around and make identifications and arrest of the people. And we got a substantial amount of meth and marijuana down there.
I started using alcohol at the age of 9. You know, it's basically experimental use. It wasn't like an everyday thing until I hit about the age of 10. I started drinking every day. So I drank then until I hit the age of 11 when I started using marijuana. At the age of 13, I continued to use both drugs, both alcohol and marijuana to the age of 13. Then I got involved with crack cocaine. Once I got involved in crack cocaine, that's when a lot of the charges and crime and the trouble that I got into began. I used crack cocaine to the ages of 15 and 16. Then I got involved in heroin. I started using heroin real bad, and that just led all the way to my time of incarceration now. But it always starts with something experimental, like just a sip of beer or a drag of a joint, you know? People don't know, but that's the beginning.
I started using drugs when I was approximately 13 years old. I started out early on with alcohol, just experimenting, having a good time, you know, hanging out with my friends and just partying. Slowly but surely it led me to experiment with marijuana, started experimenting with LSD, never really seeing it as a problem. By the time I was 17, I was sticking a needle in my arm, and I knew that I would never have done that had I not been under the influence of alcohol. But while I was under the influence, I wasn't able to make good decisions in my life. You know, when I was under the influence of alcohol or under the influence of marijuana, I wasn't able to make good decisions. Therefore, I started to engage in behaviors like having unprotected sex.
The drug does get you, but what usually happens is what you do while you're high will get you before the drug gets you. Because you're more apt to get high, to have sex, than to catch a sexually transmitted disease.
because I was one of those kids at 13, 14, 15 thinking the bad things were never going to happen to me. By the time I was 19 years old, I was diagnosed HIV positive, and I was devastated. You know, I'll never know what it's like to have children. I've always wanted to have children. And I'll never know what that feeling is like to be able to raise a family and have a family. And, you know, so there's a lot of great losses from the moment I picked up that alcohol.
The biggest thing they need to be aware of is the consequences that ultimately they experience, jails, institutions, and death. And for the experiences that I've had, the majority of them have ended up in one or the other. I've been to numerous funerals. I've been to numerous prisons. The consequences are, in most cases, more than they were willing to pay.
You have a lot of things that happen in prison. You know, you can become injured in prison due to fights. You have all kinds of things in prison that aren't good for you. But the worst thing about prison in a whole is the lack of freedom. The lack of being able to make certain decisions or choices. Not being able to get up in the morning and decide what kind of clothes you want to wear, or when you want to go to sleep, or take a shower, or eat. The choices that, you know, a lot of people take for granted in life. You never know what you have until it's gone. That's a very true saying, because you never know how much your freedom means to you until it's taken away.
I think, you know, it's not fun to go to jail either, and that really sucks too. I mean, there's a lot of people who want to take advantage of you. All it is thieves, murderers, rapists, you know, it's all criminals when you're in jail, and that's where you live.